Glasgow. What is the meaning of this place name? Now, some of you may already have heard the story that it means a dear green place. Well, that's not actually the historical meaning. It's a later, much later reinterpretation, half interpreting a Gaelic form of the name. Glasgow is in fact a Welsh name, or perhaps a bit more accurately Brythonic name, Welsh being a Brythonic language. Many of you will already know that the Clyde River in Dumbarton, the Clyde Valley, was the centre of a Welsh-speaking kingdom that lasted under political independence perhaps until the middle of the 11th century, the time of the Norman conquest. In fact, this kingdom, this resilient little Welsh kingdom, a Welsh-speaking kingdom, was decimated, perhaps is the best word, around 870 when the Vikings besieged its political capital at Dumbarton, which means the fort of the Britons, the fort of the Welsh, and took its king as prisoner and many, many others as well. However, what happened in the 11th, 10th century is that this kingdom bounced back somehow and ended up controlling a very large mound on north of southwest Scotland, the Clyde Valley, perhaps even the Lothians and Cumbria. Cumbria meaning Cymru, Welsh, from which this name derives. Now, more about the actual meaning of Glasgow itself. We can divide this into two elements, glass and co. Now, glass is pretty easy to interpret. In Welsh, Brythonic, glass means, you might think it means blue, but it actually means more of the bluish, greenish blue. Or in fact, it actually means verdant, fruitful. You'll use it for the colour of these leaves here. That's glass. So it means verdant. What about the second element, co? Well, this is Brythonic, Old Welsh, and it survives in modern day Welsh. In South Wales, it means you have the form coy, which means hollow. A tree can be coy. And this coy word has developed precisely from co. But what it really means is a sort of geographical hollow, a small valley, or a very small valley perhaps. So in this case it means the small greenish verdant valley because of the lush vegetation. Now, where was this? Well, it's almost certainly where the church stands now, the cathedral, between the cemetery and the provost's house. That is the Glass Co. The hill upon which the cemetery is built being one side of this co. But why does such an important place have such an insignificant name? It's a major cathedral, important in Scottish history, dedicated to a Welsh saint, of course, Cyndair and Kentigern. And it's just named after, well, lush, verdant hollow. Well, there's a reason for this. The earlier, religious capital of the Kingdom of Strathclyde was at Govan. And if you've seen all the magnificent stones now housed in the church, you're actually looking at the grave markers, the sarcophagus of the kings and the elite of this robust or resilient little kingdom. Now, what seems to have happened is that this kingdom, we don't know how it ends. It ceases to be mentioned rather in the middle of the 11th century. The historian Alex Wolff has suggested that this might simply be because its end is overshadowed by the Norman conquest of England. And this kingdom became incorporated into the emerging kingdom of the Scots, Upper Scotland. Now, the last thing they wanted was a focus, a religious focus for the remaining elite of this Brythonic Welsh-speaking kingdom at Govan. So the thinking is that what they did was to move the religious kingdom away from this very important central church, the focus of perhaps Strathclydian aspirations to regain independence, was to move the focus to a new site a few miles up the river. That is where Glasgow is today, and simply takes the name from quite a minor local little feature. So Glasgow, rather than meaning my dear place, it actually means the Green Hollow, the small verdant valley